What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So, today I want to talk about no tax on Social Security and why we don't see that in this big, beautiful bill. Now, I've talked a little bit about this, but I want to go into more detail. And then I also want to talk about what they could do. Because right now, the talk is in Congress that the budget rules will not allow them to eliminate taxes on people receiving Social Security benefits. And so you have some politicians right now saying, well, they'll have a standalone bill, and that standalone bill will have the elimination of taxes for people receiving Social Security benefits. Now, I don't think that's going to happen. I'll tell you why I don't think it's going to happen. But we really need to dive into this big, beautiful bill because we're starting to see even Elon Musk came out and criticized this bill. And remember, this bill is going to add $3.8 trillion to our national debt. And that's coming from the Congressional Budget Office. So yes, this bill will be big. I don't know about beautiful, but it's going to be a big bill and it's going to cost a lot of money. So let's talk a little bit more about that in this video. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video. And if you're watching this video and you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. Okay, so for those of you guys that don't know, this big, beautiful bill was passed by the House and it's now sitting on a desk somewhere in the Senate. Now, the Senate leader, Majority Leader Thune, he is going to create a different version of this big, beautiful bill. So we don't know exactly what's going to be in that, but it's going to be pretty similar, I would imagine. And part of this big, beautiful bill had a $4,000 deduction for people who are 65 or older. Now, this doesn't target everyone receiving Social Security benefits, and they're kind of saying, well, this is a Social Security, this is for people receiving Social Security, but realistically, it's not. It's for people who are 65 or older. Now, this $4,000 deduction, it's just that, it's a deduction. And so what that means is, let's say you receive $30,000 in your retirement and your benefits and all of that. Well, you can reduce that $30,000 down to $26,000, and then you'll be taxed on the $26,000. And so it's not a tax credit. A tax credit would have been better because a tax credit would be dollar for dollar. So if it's $4,000 tax credit, then if you owed $3,000 in taxes, then guess what? You have this $4,000 tax credit, which would mean you don't have to pay anything in taxes. And so looking at this $4,000 deduction, it's not very good. It's not going to impact that many people who are 65 or older. And as I stated before, the reason that Congress said they couldn't do the no taxes on Social Security, it's because of the rules. And they're trying to get this through reconciliation, which means you just needed a majority in the House and a majority in the Senate. Generally, in the Senate, you need 60 votes. But in this case, if they run it through reconciliation, they only need a majority. So they only need 51. And realistically, they only need 50 because you have the vice president that would step in and break a tie. Now, there is some talk that we could see a standalone bill. Now, I'm going to tell you why that's probably not going to happen. Because I stated earlier, $3.8 trillion, that's what this bill, this big, beautiful bill, is going to add to our national debt. And if they decide to move forward with a standalone bill to eliminate taxes on people receiving Social Security benefits, that's another big expense. And so automatically you're going to have some people that are not going to be comfortable. Some politicians aren't going to be comfortable voting for that bill. And so if they were going to do it, they would need to put it all together in one. Now, if you can't eliminate taxes for people receiving Social Security benefits, there's another option. There's something else that you can do for people who are 65 and older. You can have a tax credit, direct payment, just like stimulus checks, and send those out to people who are 65 or older. So it doesn't even have to be $4,000. I said this before, it could be $2,000, it could be $3,000. And do that for the next 3 years. Because remember, this deduction, this $4,000 deduction, it's only for 3 years. The no tax on overtime, that's only 3 years as well. And then the no tax on tips is only 3 years. And so these aren't even permanent. And so that's something else that should be concerning to people because you're looking and you're saying, okay, well, they're doing a little bit for the rich. They're doing some for the middle class and the working class. This is great. But guess what? The stuff that they're doing for the rich, they want to make that permanent. They want to make those tax cuts permanent, 2017 tax cuts. But when it comes to the average Joe, the people who are working every day, the people who are struggling, they want it temporary, just for 3 years. And then after that, we don't know what's going to happen. So they could do direct payments. That's something that they should do. You want to stimulate the economy, people are 65 or older, give them direct payments. Or even go a step further, drop it down to 62 or over, because you have people that are receiving Social Security benefits at 62. And so if you really want to focus on seniors or focus on people who are receiving Social Security benefits, drop it down to 62. And that will help a lot more people. And so the latest news, I just saw a few articles where Elon Musk is going against this bill because it's a big spending bill. And he says this is going against what we were trying to do in Doge. So we'll have to see if that has any impact on the president. But the Senate still needs to weigh in. So we still need to see what the Senate has. Now, the president wants to sign this by July 4th. And so there's a lot of work to do. We have 1 month. The Senate's going to have to put together their bill, and then they're going to have to pass their bill through committee and then pass their bill on the floor. And then they'll have to send that bill back to the House because there will be some changes. And when they send it back to the House, then the House has to vote on it and pass it. Now, remember, the House passed their bill by one vote, 215, I believe, to 214. And so if there's changes to the bill, that's going to be a problem for the House. The House might not be able to pass that bill. Okay, so here's breaking news. We have Elon Musk now. He has decided that he is going to leave the Trump administration. And remember, he had about 130 days to run Doge, and so he's decided that he's going to step aside at this point. I don't know what's going to happen with Doge from this point. I'm sure they're still going to move forward, but without him, I don't know what their plan is from this point on. Remember, this whole Doge thing from the beginning. It was to find the waste, fraud, and abuse, right? And you had Elon Musk as someone who everyone knows, and he would be able to get out and kind of, be the figurehead for Doge and what they were doing. But now that he is leaving, who is going to take that place? Who do you go to ask, or how successful are you and what are you finding? And so it will be interesting to see what they do with this, but he is stepping aside. And when it comes to Doge, were they successful? I don't know. At this point, I want you guys to let me know in the comments, do you think they were successful or not? They were successful in laying people off. They were successful in finding some waste, fraud, and abuse, but how much? We still don't know. Because remember, the initial when Elon Musk first came out talking about Doge, he said, yes, we're gonna be able to save $2 trillion for the American people. And then that changed to, okay, it's gonna be $1 trillion that we'll save for the American people. And then that changed again to 150 billion. And he said this during a cabinet meeting. And it was on air. They showed it where he was saying, yeah, 150 billion is what we'll be able to save. So it went from 2 trillion to 150 billion. In my mind, you guys let me know in the comments, but in my mind, that's not a success. If you're starting at 2 trillion and you're only getting 150 billion, that's not a success. And we still need to run the numbers because some of the numbers that are out there right now showing 150 billion, 160 billion. If you go to the Doge tracker, it shows you that. But the reality is when you start looking at all the different cost savings, it doesn't add up to 150 or 160 billion. And so I want to get your guys' take on this. So let me know in the comments below. What do you think about Elon Musk stepping aside? Do you think he should have stepped aside before this? Or do you think he's just waited until that 130 days or close to 130 days and now he's stepping aside? So let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye. So that's all we have for this video. Make sure if you guys want to send me an email, you can do that, david@thetecshow.com. Like the video, subscribe for more, and check out these videos over here for some more great content. Talk to you later. Bye.